Qam Yasharahla. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, peace and salutation to you, Qam, or just pushing the truth in love and sincerity and in charity with all humility. Okay, this is the brother Yashawan from the GMS Bahamas Qam, back at you with another brief lesson. Okay, the name of this lesson is entitled Teach Them. Okay, teach them. Alright, as the scriptures say, Proverbs 22:6. When it says teach them, teach your children. They say train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will never depart from it. He will not depart from it. Okay, now the reason why I going into this is because the other day, I think it was one day last week, okay, I sent my daughter to school and the class teacher put it in the group, okay, in the school chat or the class chat that they're doing some conch salad. And if any parent can let them know that if their child are allergic to conch, okay, so that they wouldn't, participate or get any. All right. So my wife responded and say, yes, our daughter, right? So now, a little later on, okay, you had the whole class, they took a picture with them holding up their conch salad with a cup in their hand and all that. But my daughter is basically the only one, okay, or maybe her and a few others, but she wasn't in those pictures, okay. And I say, boy, all of them children eating the abominable thing, and they don't even know, all right? All of them eat the unclean thing. And I say, man, teachers them, who's supposed to be teaching these children, they themselves are lost, all right? They are lost, okay? Because it's clearly written in the scriptures what they eat and what not to eat out of the seas and on the land. Okay, but most of our people, which consist of you so-called Native American, Indians, Latinos, and Negroes, okay, y'all will say the Old Testament is done away with. The laws of the Most High is no more. All right? But a lot of y'all, okay, don't have no faith. Okay? And this is why y'all have no works, because y'all have no faith. Okay? And y'all don't believe on the only begotten of the Father, whose name is Yahweh and not Jesus. Okay, the scripture tell you clearly, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will never depart. He will not depart from it. And you have a lot of these parents as well. Okay, they are feeding these garbage to their children. All right, then you wonder why your child always sick. Not because you feed them abominable foods, conch, shrimp, lobster, ham, crab. Oh, especially crab down here in this island. All right, they don't teach them morals. They don't teach them the ways of the Lord. But yet they will say, get ready for church. Okay. Then I had a conversation with one teacher who was doing some work for her. Okay, I asked her if she knows what color the Lord is. She said, yeah. He's the so-called black man. I said, all right. I said, so now the next question what I would ask, do they teach that in school? So she said, no. I said, well, why not? She said, she don't know. I said, well, if you print out a picture of a so-called black man and a so-called white man and you ask them, which one is the Lord? Which one is Jesus? She says, clearly they can say the white man. I said, all right. I said, now, what does scripture say now? How does scripture describe him? Well, she says a black man. I said, all right. I said, so why is it so hard for teachers to teach the truth? Even of the parents. Well, we know most of them, they don't read the scriptures. You see? A lot of them, they lack understanding. This is why they're lost and they're going to perish. All right? Let's get Daniel. Let's select Deuteronomy 4, 9 and 10. Okay? See, book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9 and 10. It says, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. Okay? Teach them the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. What to do, what not to do. What to eat, what not to eat. What to wear, what not to wear. Especially in the day that thou stoodest before Yahweh, thy power in Horeb, when Yahweh said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. Okay, so it's a clear distinction showing that these people, they don't fear the Lord, because they ain't teaching their children. When the teacher say, man, about making conch salad, if these people didn't know the truth and understand and have that knowledge, all right, they will not let their children eat that flecking abominable thing. All right, they will not let them eat that abominable thing. Okay, let's go to Sirach 6 and 18. All right, hey, this is Sirach 6 and 18. He said, my son, gather instructions. That's the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the knowledge from thy youth up. So shall thou find wisdom till thine old age. So if you're teaching these children from when they're young and constantly showing them, then they would grow up, they'll grow up knowing what is good. Okay? All right, you teach them and grow them up in the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You can't teach them how to break rules, okay, how not to follow order. You can't teach them how to be disorderly, because when you really look at it, that is disorder. What they are doing, they are not in order. Okay, because the scriptures, all right, it outline everything. Okay, all right. Let's get Deuteronomy 6 and 7 and 11 and 19. We can close off with that. Okay. Deuteronomy 6 and 7. You say, and thou shalt teach them diligently. You see that? Diligently unto thy children, and shall talk of them when thou sittest in thy house. You see that? When you inside your house, you're supposed to be talking about this word. And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Okay? You're supposed to teach them. When you see them doing fool, you tell them. You chastise them. You correct them. Okay? That's what you do. Alright? But it's clearly our people are lost. Okay? And have no understanding. Okay? Deuteronomy 11 and 19. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Okay? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? So even now, us in this truth, okay, this is what we do. All right? When we have our young ones. Okay, because if you have teenagers right now and they ain't in the truth, or they don't know the Lord, okay, some of them, they may take it, and then again, some of them are being very hard-hearted. All right? So, yeah, man. Hey, Lord, well, this lesson was edified. On the service purpose, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akim, for just pushing the truth in love, sincerity, and charity with all humility. Shalom and a Papa Paul. Qam Yasharahla.